of today, the moment every game has been leading up to. It is finally here, and hey, it's the #1 seed Wobbles playing so brilliantly this entire tournament. And 𝗧𝗵𝗶, a man with no need for an introduction. We know how powerful he can be, so we'll see. This is gonna be an epic showdown nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. Wobbles decides to ban 𝗧𝗵𝗶, of course, bans the 𝗧𝗵𝗺 as he always does, and Wobbles first picks 𝗧𝗵𝗃, which, as we saw previously, it gives him a lot of freedom to do whatever he feels he needs to do as his second pick. I mean, he could go easily here for 𝗵𝗺 or Grandpa, get a nice protector buff before any potential damage, and then just have 𝗬𝗏𝗄s to run away with the game later on.
Yeah, and speaking of 𝗬𝗏𝗄s, it looks like he's trying to hover over this Grandpa. Not the worst, but man, WCL we saw with the War Drum doing so much damage. So even the Grandpa not feeling too safe. The 𝗬𝗏 buff will go a long way. But it looks like Wobbles maybe a little bit hesitant about the 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗶, maybe leaning towards 𝗵𝗺, going Grandpa. Both are really good into 𝗂𝗏𝗺, but I'm worried he doesn't have the best answers for this 𝗦𝘂𝗽𝗍𝗁.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Synergy Master is just so much, and as you mentioned, the War Drum as well, it compounds itself to do so much damage. But Wobbles does bring Grandpa through. It had to be one of the birds, right? I mean, he was going to lose one no matter what. But lock it in, bring your choice in that Grandpa. And then, I mean, really, the rest of the Thames now, Wobbles still looks pretty good. He's got a lot of physical pressure, so he can take down 𝗧𝗺 pretty well. He doesn't have to worry too much about the special attacking wall. And then with Grandpa, and even with 𝗬𝗏𝗄, is not as scary. 𝗬𝗨r is not as scary. 𝗂𝗏𝗺 is not as scary. Wobbles has some earth and fire, so 𝗂𝗀𝗺 can have some counters. Wobbles definitely built this team for 𝗧𝗵𝗶. The more we go into it, the more it just looks like everything was...
We'll see. All right, so finals time, as I said, is here. Who is taking the crown? Wobbles, I believe he's been in the finals before, but hasn't taken the crown to his name. 𝗧𝗵𝗶 trying to do the unbelievable, borderline impossible, 3 back-to-back tournaments in our tournament series. Is he going to be the first to ever get that done? Wobbles is a big opponent standing in his way, but let's see. Turn 1 already underway, and the Grandpa does retreat for the time being.
Yeah, absolutely. Just wants to protect Grandpa as long as possible, but it looks like J-Dragon knew it. He was expecting it to happen. He water cannons this Sapphire on entry, bringing him down to 32%. The Toxic as well. 𝗧𝗵𝗶 came to play in the finals. Wobbles is down to the red on both Thames.
Yeah, he pressed so fast, like didn't even think about it. Like, will the Grandpa swap out? Didn't even think about it. It's like 100% in his head was swapping out. So beautiful read. As you said, look at that. The 𝗬𝗏𝗄 at 20%. 𝗬𝗂 the Sapphire just one hit away from going down. And hey, didn't have to pay too much for it. The 𝗂𝗽𝗍𝗁 at 65%, and 𝗂𝗏𝗺 sitting pretty. So Sapphire has to retreat back to the Grandpa. So back to turn 1. At least we might be getting that turbo. There we go. So Grandpa starting to do what Wobbles likes to do with his team, speeding up that carry Grandpa.
Yeah, but his speedy Grandpa still takes... Oh no, the water gun lily hits 𝗬𝗏𝗄. So 𝗬𝗏𝗄 falls down. There won't be any sacrifices, no more turbos from 𝗬𝗏𝗄. Instead, the Toxic Ink hits Grandpa, brings him down to 70% with a Toxic Tick to go. But at least Grandpa got himself 1 protector buff, 1 turbo choreography. He still might be able to get a kill or 2 thanks to his type advantage.
Yeah, I could definitely agree. And Wobbles has no toxic temps to really pressure that down. Of course, we saw We saw the Nature Course take down a Toxic Tem like 𝗂𝗏𝗏, so that's not always the answer there. But yeah, Wobbles seemingly in a tough position. The 𝗂𝗏 super low in the back line. Out comes the 𝗬𝗏, so double gash the only technique available currently. But HKS is online. This is a +2 speed Grandpa. So let's see where it's going. I think Magi is trying to read at the 𝗂𝗀 spot, but let's see if he at least get into the 𝗂𝗏𝗏. That'll be a bit bigger rally. But Hypnosis, okay.
Yeah, Hypnosis onto the 𝗂𝗏𝗏, who's holding on to, what is that? It is precious little chamomile immunity, no sleeping for 𝗬𝗏𝗏. Instead, it's a humiliating slap for Grandpa. So now that Protector buff doesn't look like it is protecting you any longer, back down to base physical defense.
Yeah, not that bad. So a Crystal Bite, or actually, yeah, base defense, but still 46%. Not all that much remaining on this Grandpa HP. So a Crystal Bite might put that final hit onto the Grandpa. We will see, but maybe not before Grandpa has a last say. As we said, HKS is online, but I think snrplat is okay sacking or taking that damage on whichever side. It looks like he still has a good advantage, but HKS does come out and is going onto the 𝗂𝗏𝗏. And oof, big damage, but not enough. Oh, and I thought the double up was coming, but no, splitting the damage.
Yeah, everybody gets to survive for just a little bit. No, Strangle is what takes down this Grandpa. Not everybody gets to survive. The bird, the Tem that Wobbles potentially needed the most, falls down to the second weakest attack in the game. I think Wake Up is the only one that does less damage, right?
Yeah, true that. That's what I was wondering. Maybe the double up onto 𝗂𝗏𝗏 would have saved the Grandpa for one more turn, allowed her to swap out. But I guess he just wanted to get that damage on the 𝗬𝗏𝗏. There was a point in our meta where there was a lot of doppelganger 𝗬𝗏𝗏. That's when we saw 𝗬𝗏𝗏 v 𝗬𝗏𝗏 all the time. But hey, 𝗬𝗏𝗏 has fallen a bit to the wayside recently, so we don't get to see that too often. But yeah, I guess Wobbles just wanted some good damage on this 𝗬𝗏𝗏 himself, so I can't blame him. But maybe the Grandpa was worth saving. So we'll see how it goes down. It looks like snrplat still has a slight advantage, but I don't think Wobbles is completely out of it just yet.
Yeah, by no means. I mean, Mouflank is still so much potential on even these toxic Tems just due to its high damage techniques. Zook with the 𝗃𝗀𝗄𝗎𝗀 synergy onto 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏. He goes first, he gets the kill, removes 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 from contention, but now snrplat, he has so many Tems to choose from. 𝗃𝗀𝗄𝗏 is already here. Volerend is the one to come play. And I mean, now this could be turbo, this could be perfect jabs. Volerend will benefit from both.
Very true, and we're seeing there why that Crystal Bite did indeed go into the 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏, just to leave it in that range of the neutral synergy 𝗃𝗀𝗄𝗏𝗏 to get the job done. So very well, one Temtem down on the side of Magi, and they're doing a bit, but as you said, turbo to get these Temtems going a bit faster than Wobbles Tems, with 𝗃𝗀𝗄𝗏𝗏 almost taking the Volerend down, but still decently healthy. But Volerend definitely a bit not feeling too comfortable. As you said, this Mouflank, this 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 on Wobbles side, there's still a good amount of room for Wobbles to come back into it. If you get rid of the Volerend, step one, of course, the Mashuk. Or let's take a look. What is the biggest threat for Wobbles currently?
Wobbles has quite a few threats. If we're being frank, I think that 𝗂𝗀𝗄𝗏 is still definitely in this one, as it can do a lot of damage to everybody. I mean, luckily Wobbles does bring down this Volerend this turn, but now 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 is poisoned. Mouflank is pretty low. Sapphire is at death's door. The luck here is that definitely Little Asia is faster than all but this Mashuk. Oh, this Mashuk.
Yeah, and snrplat brilliantly saving that Nature Course for the end. And yeah, WCL being 3 prio, maybe the Mouflank able to outspeed it with that +1 speed. But yeah, as we said, I think that might be the biggest threat. If Wobbles Temtems fall a little bit lower, like this 𝗬𝗧𝗺 gets a little bit lower, I feel like everything is in that one-shot range from this water cutting lily 𝗂𝗍𝗄. So that might be the game plan. Just use the other Temtems to get everyone in the range and just have that nature Temtem clean up towards the end.
Yeah, the uppercut going towards 𝗵𝗶𝗴, saying, you know, if you don't kill my 𝗬𝗃𝗃, I'm going to kill your 𝗵𝗶𝗴. Luckily, the base jump brings 𝗬𝗃𝗃 down, so 𝗧𝗲𝗺 could target down 𝗵𝗃. And Senior Plat is down to his final 2 Tems. But boy, are these Tems terrifying. The toxic ticks are whittling away. Definitely a double in would bring him down. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 and 𝗬𝗃𝗺 are so low. Potentially an uppercut on their own would bring them both down. Pouring onto the 𝗂𝗀𝗇 brings it to the red. 𝗬𝗏𝗄𝗄 hitting 𝗵𝗃𝗃 doesn't quite kill. No synergy means no toxic ticks. Water cutting Lily onto 𝗬𝗧𝗺. Without the synergy master, it survives. And hook kick brings down 𝗂𝗀𝗇. It's all up to 𝗵𝗃.
Yeah, and you know what? It was looking rough for Wobbles, but really impressively bringing things back around. But 𝗵𝗃 might be the MVP. Look at those HPs remaining on Wobbles. 𝗵𝗃 is at +2 speed, so should be able to go first every time. 𝗬𝗏𝗄 taking down the 𝗵𝗃. That is 3. That is 1 down. 2 more to go. Let's see how much this 𝗧𝗏𝗺 is doing. Okay, that's respectable damage.
I don't know if letting 𝗵𝗃𝗃 go was the best play here. I think 𝗵𝗃𝗃 was absolutely the target. Maybe sacrifice 𝗬𝗃𝗺, get the crystal bite, get a sharp stabs, and then execution is probably what we needed to see for Wobbles to get the win. I mean, he could still do some good damage, but a 𝗬𝗏𝗄 onto Zuko means it's dead, and 𝗬𝗧𝗺 just doesn't have the stamina to fight this fight.
Yeah, and you know, this +2 speed making a big impact. That would be a lot of damage. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 would have outspent 𝗵𝗃. 𝗬𝗃𝗺 most likely outspent 𝗵𝗃 with that +2 speed, making sure this 𝗵𝗃 always attack first. And Senior Plat down to his final Temtem. GG game. Number 2 of our finals. Potentially the last one, unless Wobbles wants to bring things back around. And go to a game number 3 is never impossible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that one was just so close. This one early decision could absolutely be the difference maker for Wobbles or for Plat this game. And it wouldn't surprise me either way. I mean, we could see Wobbles come back for the 2-1. We could see Senior Plat stomp with a 2-0. Anything could happen, and it is all absolutely believable and expected with these incredible players. We do have a 𝗧𝗏𝗺 lead from Wobbles, though, into Synergy Master Nature 𝗂𝗍𝗃. This, I feel like this favors Senior Plat.
Every time I see this opener, it makes me favor Senior Plat. It's just so oppressive. But hey, a lot of respect to Wobbles. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 and 𝗬𝗃𝗺 are such heavy hitters. I just don't know if you have time to heat up. Not a lot of pressure coming your way in the direction of the 𝗬𝗃𝗺. So maybe a heat up could go off there. But I feel like you need to gun down this nature 𝗂𝗍𝗃 as fast as you can. Something like base jump 𝗧𝗏𝗺 and then hope the Goring outspeeds the WCL the next turn to take it down. Maybe that's the potential way. Of course, this 𝗬𝗃𝗺, I know Senior Plat loves to strangle, so he could strangle one of these Tems. Now not allowing something like that to happen, or could simply just go for some good toxic ink pressure too. So we'll see. These guys with the rapid fire in the pick and bans knew exactly what they wanted. Very similar teams as game 1. I don't think there was too many changes. Or let's take a look at the scoreboard real quick.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Wobbles brings 𝗵𝗺𝗀𝗍 instead of Grandpa this time. Otherwise, on his end, very quick turn 1s again. 𝗧𝗏𝗺 onto 𝗂𝗍𝗃. Water cutting Lily. Targeting down this 𝗵𝗃𝗃 does just over 50%. Base jump hits the 𝗂𝗍𝗃 but doesn't get the kill. And 𝗬𝗃𝗺's toxic ink 𝗵𝗃𝗃 is looking a little bit worse for wear. I think we're going to see potentially 2 kills this coming turn. That is very high aggression. I almost wanted to talk about things early on. I wanted to say what the 2 most likely plays were, but these guys just go for it. They know what they want to do. They're dedicated and determined and aggressive.
Yeah, very reminiscent of that Feynman best of 3 matchup where these guys did the exact same turn 1. But hey, one thing to note, Sapphire outsped the 3 prior from 𝗂𝗀𝗃 unless there was some kind of speed arrow swap. Let's take actually no, I think Sapphire does outspeed a 𝗂𝗀𝗃. So does snrplat just let this 𝗂𝗀𝗃 go, or does he just swap into 𝗵𝗂𝗃 to try to eat up all that physical damage? That has to be his best swap out.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think that you want to sacrifice 𝗂𝗀𝗃 this early. But also being this low HP, it is going to be kind of difficult to get an attack off later on. I mean, you may be able to outspeed a Crystal Bite or a hook kick from 𝗬𝗬𝗄, but I think Sharp Stabs would absolutely go first. 𝗬𝗎 potentially goes first. Well, 𝗬𝗎 doesn't matter. I guess it's gonna turbo anyway.
Oh, it was a speed arrow.
Speed arrow swap. snrplat paying closer attention than the rest of us, brings down the move flank. Zuko does kill 𝗂𝗀𝗃, but now it's gotta be that ice stalactite. No, toxic ink. Zuko is just gonna take those toxic ticks instead of the water damage. He should consider himself lucky.
Yeah, not too bad. Maybe he's gonna go ahead and do a water jet this turn, but we'll see what comes out. So 𝗵𝗂𝗃, Voler, and 𝗬𝗬𝗄 or snrplat's option. All of them decent, except actually, yeah, all of them somewhat decent into that back line of Wobbles. 𝗏𝗏𝗏, of course, will be giving 𝗵𝗂𝗃 and perhaps the Voler slight troubles early on before the setup goes on. So yes, that will be the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 on the side of Wobbles. Do we have a 𝗬𝗬𝗄? No, we have a 𝗵𝗂𝗃 on the side of snrplat. So potentially this 𝗏𝗏𝗏 could have some good damage going on to snrplat's Tem. Because snrplat doesn't have like the biggest damage going on to 𝗏𝗏𝗏, so Hypoxia should be some good output going on to either Tem. I am assuming 𝗵𝗂𝗃 may be more of a priority only because we've seen how impactful those P-jabs have been. But 𝗂𝗀𝗵𝗏 is annoying as well too, so I can see value in both of them, but I think 𝗵𝗂𝗃 a bit more problematic.
Yeah, I mean, after what we've seen 𝗵𝗂𝗃 do throughout these playoffs, the semifinals, and now game 1 of finals, definitely has to be targeted down.
And that is really interesting. Nice. We haven't seen that this entire tournament. Wobbles saving the spice till the very end, and this might be a big difference maker. I don't think 𝗏𝗏𝗏 has a way to remove it. Maybe if he runs Cage on his 𝗵𝗂𝗃, but how else are we getting this Doom off? Very impressive stuff. The time is ticking down for snrplat's 𝗂𝗬𝗏 and 𝗵𝗂𝗃. What a play from Wobbles. Insanity, insane extinction.
It needs to be mentioned though, with Sapphire going down, snrplat's 𝗬𝗬𝗄 is looking pretty good. Wobbles is going to have to try and Keanu buff his 𝗬𝗬𝗄, maybe sacrifice into it, just so that he can survive that and the Voler end.
Yeah, I 100% agree. 2 mental Temtems and then just the mirror match there. But before 𝗵𝗂𝗃 goes down, he's going to make sure he speeds up his Voler in there. And this Voler also looking pretty good against the squad. 2 special attackers and 1 physical in the back line. Beta Burst going onto 𝗵𝗂𝗃. But 𝗵𝗂𝗃 is just a ticking time bomb as he will be brought down. I'm wondering, is snrplat just going to be sacrificing this 𝗂𝗬𝗄 in the back line? I guess it's not going to be doing the most against the current board of Wobbles. So it makes sense. This is close. That extinction really did even things back out. Because if Keanu, you know, Wobbles does have a Keanu. Buff up this Keanu, buff up the 𝗬𝗬𝗄 a little bit with the Keanu buffs. And then the mirror match a lot more attainable. 𝗵𝗂𝗃 is looking like he's going to be dead this turn, if not the next. So, you know, no more P-jabs. So it's just, you know, 𝗬𝗬𝗄 could eventually get the better of Voler, as it's not going to have any defenses on that Voler directly from any kind of buff. So I think Wobbles definitely has a good shot at bringing things back around. But let's see. It's still super close.
Yeah, I mean, now 𝗬𝗬𝗄 does swap in. Perfect jab onto 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Is definitely, I mean, free damage now. 𝗬𝗬𝗄 is almost guaranteed to kill this coming turn, unless it's the tankiest 𝗬𝗺𝗁 in the world. But it is also mirroring, which means that that wind burst does damage back to 𝗬𝗺𝗁. 𝗬𝗪𝗓 has to go down this turn, or else 𝗬𝗺𝗁 goes down.
Yeah, and you know, this is a rather free crystal bite, but you know, we saw 𝗬𝗺𝗁 with the bamboozle. However, it is confirmed as a neutrality 𝗬𝗺𝗁, so you know, a blessing and a curse sometimes. You can't bamboozle your own self with a neutrality 𝗬𝗺𝗁, so crystal bite rather free. I think crystal bite should be able to outspeed actually wait, a +2 Kinu, maybe a bit of a saving grace. Hypnosis the Kinu, perhaps. Or Hypnosis the 𝗬𝗪𝗓. Oh no, it's chamomile. Forget that. This is a free crystal bite into the 𝗬𝗺𝗁𝗁 slot, and 𝗬𝗺𝗁 should be going all the way down from this position. So Wobbles does elect to eat this damage with the 𝗬𝗪𝗓. Let's see how much it's gonna do here.
Oh, the sacrifice on the 𝗬𝗪𝗓, that is absolutely necessary now. It means that 𝗬𝗪𝗓 can fight back against 𝗬𝗪𝗓. The perfect jab, though, means it is only +1. So it is going to be quite a bit of free damage onto Wobbles' 𝗬𝗪𝗓 that just wasn't fought back. I mean, snrplat's a little bit hurt, but I think that mirroring gives it an advantage versus this 𝗬𝗺𝗁𝗁's tornado.
Yeah, we'll take a look. Tornado is online. But hey, things are getting tight in here. It's 2v2. No more swapped out. It's just who's going to be outputting what damage. 𝗬𝗺𝗁 does have bamboozle. That might be the name, that might be the way Wobbles definitely does it. If you protect this 𝗬𝗪𝗓, but then you don't do a tornado, as you said, right? If you protect it a little bit too much, then you're not doing that crazy big damage that 𝗬𝗺𝗁 is known to do. He has a hand fan on it, so wants to do some damage. So I could see it. I'm trying to think about what would be the most value. I think you just want to do damage, right?
I think that Wobbles has to kill 𝗬𝗪𝗓 right now. He has to take advantage of his +2 speed, or else Volorend is going to hit the Toxic Plume. It does. That could be game-changing. If snrplat's 𝗬𝗪𝗓 is able to survive this turn, that means there's too much damage going back onto Wobbles. Crystal Bite comes through, 43% down to 14. snrplat survives in the red, 2 versus 1, and I think that's the only advantage he needed. He's got the attack advantage. He's feather gatling down onto this 𝗬𝗪𝗓. He's below 50%. Sharp Stabs fights back. He is able to bring down snrplat's 𝗬𝗪𝗓, and it's 1 versus 1, but the HP advantage is heavily in snrplat's realm.
Yeah, and I think that will be all she wrote. snrplat doing the unthinkable, 3 tournaments back to back to back. Man, that beautiful play, -1 reduction on 𝗬𝗪𝗓's attack. The War Drum trying to bring that back a little bit by 8%. But the damage has been done. 1 more feather gatling. Make that a HKS just for the fancy finish. Might as well. But ladies and gents, the 3-time back-to-back champion, he even called it. He said, I'm winning the tournament, and he is a man of his word. We might have to ban snrplat from our tourneys.